And there's a lot of people that say, hey, I got a few ETH right now that would like to buy an NFT, share your work. And a bunch of people, will share their work, and then somebody else would do that. And you just you got to be on top of it and like constantly share your stuff on there. And eventually it will get to the right collector who sees value in your NFT and will be willing to buy it.
Hey guys, it's Autumn Guard, and here I'm talking to Adil Constantine. Adil, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, for sure. My name is Adil Constantine. I am a musician and content creator. I've been a musician my whole life and kind of got into the music production space a couple of years ago, and I decided to share my journey on YouTube. Funny fact, my YouTube channel started as a gaming channel, but then after that went to vlogs. And then once I got into music, like it really excited me, especially nowadays that we have all these tools, full suites from like Ableton Live that can help you throughout the whole music composition process and production, and then services like DistroKid that kind of help you get your music out there, and which really got me very excited. And I was like, you know what, this is what I want to do. I want to get back to my roots. And, music has always been part of my life. So the content that I make on YouTube and Instagram and all the social media is really sharing my experience, my journey as a musician, and anything that I learn, I share with, with the world as tutorials, tips and tricks, trying to help other musicians out there to get their work out there and not be shy about, their beats or, the quality of their music. I'm here to help them out.
Yeah, that's so cool. A lot more people are getting comfortable with the idea of, hey, I'm not necessarily the biggest expert on this, but I want to share my journey. Like, I want to share what I know along the way,
Yeah.
because I think that is really cool. I think it's really inspiring to see people starting from nothing and then building up, because that's something that we weren't able to see a lot before. It's pretty cool that we can do that now as like musicians, content creators, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
pretty
sure. I mean,
cool.
there's always going to be somebody, that can learn from you, like now you've acquired, some knowledge and you know how to put a beat together. There's somebody who is not there yet. And so whatever content you're going to put out is going to help them out. And then as you keep progressing and you learn new things, you're kind of like going through tiers and levels of knowledge, that there's always somebody who is, kind of behind, who can learn from you. So it's a win-win for everybody, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So if anybody out there wants to get into like creating videos and stuff, but you're a little shy about it, like just do it, man. There's always somebody that could like learn something from you.
For
So,
sure.
okay, man, I've been seeing you post on Twitter and stuff about NFTs, and
Yeah.
this is kind of a polarizing topic. Like some people are really, really into it, and then there's people that are just like, oh, I don't want to hear about it. But I mean, it's here. Like we can't deny that it's something
Yeah.
that's like, it's present right now. And I'm very, very curious about it. What got you into wanting to get into NFTs?
So, I mean, once you're a musician, and I mean, we're all trying to turn our passion for music into something sustainable that can, we can live off of, right? And so we're constantly, I mean, you hear all these people talking about multiple streams of income and all that stuff, from affiliate marketing to, ad revenue and all that stuff. And to me, I'm constantly looking for different ways to increase my streams, right? And I got introduced to NFTs through a friend of mine who's an amazing digital artist. His name is Felix Schlater. And he, he's like, dude, NFTs is really hot right now. And you got to jump on it as soon as you can. So after that, I was just started looking into it. And as a matter of fact, NFTs have been around for a long time. They've been around since 2007, 2006, something like that.
Oh, wow.
And it's just now getting all the light because I think a lot of people are starting to understand what it's about. And I mean, I read an article about Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park. He was introduced to NFTs back in 2005, 2006 too, but he knew that kind of like that's where the world is going to be at. But he knew at the time releasing anything as NFT is not going to go anywhere because not a lot of people understand it.
Right.
And now, we have bands like Kings of Leon, they have released a whole album as an NFT because they see the value that people are now understanding it and the hype is there. And you will learn NFT is really all about hype. In order to get
Yeah.
your stuff out there, get people to see your work, your NFT work, it's all about building a hype around it. So I got into NFT, I just saw it was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I just discovered the internet, this is like
Yeah.
internet 2.0, and if you're, a Gary Vee fan like myself, he's always like, he jumped on internet when internet first came out. And like, he's
Right.
always been kind of like ahead of the game because he jumps on things, right away. He doesn't try to question it, So I jumped on it right away because even though I know there's a lot of people that look at it like, hey, what about your rights? What about, like somebody steals your stuff and listed themselves as NFTs? I don't want to worry about that right now because I felt like if I worry too much about it, then the train will already pass and I missed it. So I wanted to jump on it right away as soon as I could.
Yes.
So from that, I did a lot of research, try to understand what it is. And it's hard to explain to a lot of people. And it's hard to grasp too, because a lot of people, they think, okay, well, we have collectors, you have people like we have the Mona Lisa and people are like, oh my gosh, this is the Mona Lisa. And, it's rare, it's one of a kind.
Right.
That's what brings it value. Right. But, people can take a picture of that and like upload it on NFT space. And now you have a Mona Lisa on NFT, but it's not the same thing. So how is that like any of value? And it's hard to grasp that idea. Is the NFT space is a whole new world. It's like we have a separate internet and anything that we create there is like a first,
Yeah.
And for collectors is they see the value in that and owning that first of something in there. And so that's why I jumped on it. I knew that I didn't see a lot of, musicians on there. Like I'm still struggling to find other musicians who are utilizing the NFT space. And that's why I felt like I need to jump on it. I mean, you saw my Twitter account. I created a separate Twitter account called it NFT Beats because I wanted to like grab that handle and, trying to register on many stores as I can, just to kind of be like, the guy who, started this. And I realized later, like, I'm not the only one. There's still a few other musicians out there who are putting their beats on there. But I just wanted to jump on it as soon as I can.
That's so smart. NFT Beats and just like taking that tag. Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different, type of digital assets that you can start on there.
Right.
Like I ran into like unstoppable domains, which is really like if the internet just started and people going and buying all the big domains like google.com or I don't know, like let's say nftbeats.com and being the person who actually owns that, it's crazy. So
yo, that's so true. Oh my gosh, you're right. nftbeats.com. And then like, yeah, that makes sense.
Imagine, being the owner of that domain and the value of that later on, if somebody or a company like Spotify who wants to, publish something under nftbeats.com or something like that, they're going to offer you a lot of money for that. And I've seen some domains that go for a lot of money too. I was able to, I couldn't get NFT Beats, but like I got lo-fi playlist .eth. Is it .eth? No, .crypto. So there's a couple domains you can do .eth or .crypto. And so like I grabbed a couple of those and I'm listing them, for sale. I'm not, taking any little offers right now because just I see the potential of the value in the future. So
I didn't even think about that nftbeats.com. Like, you're right. What do you look for when you're buying an NFT, or have you bought an NFT?
Oh yeah, I've bought a couple actually. So it's kind of like, art collectors, and each art collector is different, because art is very subjective. So like a piece of music might speak like to you like directly, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, this makes me feel, emotional, happy, whatever it is. And I just love this and gave me goosebumps or something like that, right? That created a value for you. But another artist, or let's say another person, altogether, they listen to that track or they look at that image and maybe it doesn't speak to them like it did to you. So there's that difference there. And there's people that would buy because they love that artist and they love what they do and they love that piece of work that they put out, and they kind of get attached to it. And so they would buy it probably not even in the intention of selling it in the future. They buy it
Right.
because they like it and they want to have it, right? But then you also have collectors, and it could be the same collector too, who would buy things just because they can see the future investment, right?
Right.
But just like any investment, not everything is guaranteed. So,
Yes.
you know, they look at you like, oh, you know what? She's going to blow up one day. They buy, you know, your beat, your music, whatever. But then they can't control if you're really going to blow up or not. So they are taking that risk. But that's a risk of any investor, right? Any investor who's going to buy something, invest in something, they're going to have. So for me, like when I'm looking at something, and I buy, like, I look at the quality of work and like the detail, how much they put into it, and because that all shows how much that artist cares. And especially if an artist who, you know, putting in the work, like, and staying
Mm-hmm.
consistent, putting a lot, like, I know they're hungry, you know, and so like I kind of want to support them and buy whatever that NFT that they have. So, like my friend, for example, he started the series called Lucky Cats, and very obviously, I mean, the drawing of the cats and all that is amazing and beautiful and all that stuff. But then also the way he went about it is, so he created all these different layers in Photoshop, and got a JavaScript created that would randomize all these layers to create different types of cats. And so like I got to see the work that he put into that, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, because now
Yeah.
he's like up to like, he's close to 1,000 cats that are randomly generated, but they're all hand drawn.
Wow.
Um, and so as soon as he put it out, I went and bought the first cat, you know, because I'm like, there's a huge value in the genesis of this, because I can see it most likely is going to blow up. Um, so, and yeah, a lot of people are buying it. And after buying that first cat, I've gotten a couple offers from other people, like more than what I paid. One of them was even 3 times what I paid. And I still held on to it, you know, I just, because one, I like the cat, and two, I can totally see it going for a lot more, because I can just see him kind of, you know, going upwards, you know, in his trades and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the things that I kind of look for, like, especially if you can get your hand on a genesis of any kind of collection,
Yeah.
there's a, you know, a huge value in that, because even if they don't blow up, being able to say like, I own the first one, like I own the first cat of that 1,000 collection, there's a huge value in that. And it's something like any art collector would put that on a wall, and like people will, you know, will come over and we'll show them, you know, that art, like, yeah, this is the first one and I own it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like
Yeah.
how it is, but now in a digital space with NFTs. So you can go to my OpenSea account, and then you can see the stuff that I bought and collected. And it's kind of like, it's my way of showing off like all the stuff that I have. So, you know, like I said, it's art, it's subjective, and but it's all these things that would mean something to you that would help, you know, make you buy that certain NFT, whether
Yeah.
it's investment or just a personal attachment.
The personal attachment thing, I feel as though if I purchased an NFT, of my first reason would be, like you said, I like the cat.
Yeah,
I like this piece, you know? And if it's something that goes up in value, like that's cool. You
yeah.
know? That's cool
You
too.
get to choose later on whether you want to sell it or keep it. You know, like you don't have to sell it, you know,
Yeah,
or you don't have to
absolutely.
keep it. You just have that freedom, which is cool.
Is there anything else you've heard of in terms of how musicians can, I guess, create benefit to somebody that purchases an NFT? For example, I've heard that like a real world application could be like an all access pass. Like if you can prove you have the NFT,
Hmm.
you get like backstage pass or something like that to
Yeah,
like your
yeah.
favorite artist.
Yeah, you can, especially if you're a performer, that's definitely a good option. I mean, you can really kind of be creative. That's the beauty of it. It's so new that you can kind of be crazy with the ideas of what kind of benefits you give for NFTs. And even in the NFT, I don't know if you tried it already, but like on OpenSea or Wearable, you can have like unlockables. So when somebody purchases an NFT, not only they own that NFT now, but also they unlock some kind of a, whether it's that digital file, like a high definition wave file for that beat, or the artwork, image of that beat, or you can even do like something, let's say it's a text file that has a code, to your merch store, or a
Mm.
code where you can download, the whole album 50% off, by going to your Bandcamp or something like that. Like I said, you can really kind of be creative with what kind of stuff they get. Like right now, what I'm trying to do, for example, I'm going through my Beattober beats and I'm taking the videos and putting them in kind of like an NFT looking, video, and creating a series of those. So let's say I have 30 beats, and what I'm doing is, okay, I'm putting all these for sale as NFTs, and I'm saying like in the description, keep an eye out for rare beats that comes with unlockable items. So people, that kind of keeps people coming back every time I put out a new NFT of one of those beats, and then they can see one, if they like it or whatnot, but then also if it has an unlockable, and that unlockable could be the actual beat, could be that I'm given all my rights for this beat. It's kind of like if somebody
Mm.
bought it exclusively. And so kind of like combining what you could do on beatstars.com, in NFT world, where maybe another artist like this beat and they want to rap to it and they want to buy it. It could be, like that, once they buy the NFT, they can have all my rights. I mean, with the rights, you can kind of be creative. Like on other beats, I put all rights reserved. Like, so by purchasing it, they're buying the NFT and they'll be the
Mm-hmm.
owner of the NFT, but that doesn't mean that they own that beat now, you know? So like I said, you kind of like play around, see what works. Think about it like from the other side. If you would buy, like, what would you want, as a
Mm.
special gift? Kind of like when you start a Patreon,
Yeah.
you have all these different tiers. What are you giving back depending on how much they're paying? So you kind of weigh out, like what would work, what you would be looking for. You can even ask your friends, if you have artist friends who, usually buy beats and rap over them, whatever. Like, what are
Mm.
they looking for? Um, like I said, just be creative.
That's awesome. Let's say that you do sell, yeah, you sell an NFT as a creator, right? And
Mhm.
somebody has, I don't know, access to your Discord or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, and then in, 6 months, they decide to sell it. Do you then get like a commission off of that?
You can set that up when you create the collection. So I use OpenSea, and in OpenSea, you create a collection, and within that collection, you upload your NFTs, right? But at the collection level, you set if you want to get a cut from the resells. So for example, I
Oh.
have 10% set on my beats. So people who buy my beats, they're cool. They can keep it, great. But then if they end up selling it again, whatever price they sell it at, I get 10% of that.
Whoa, that's
Yeah.
that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. You're kind of saying like you have shares in this piece of work that every time somebody resells it, you get a cut from that.
That's
And it's
so
cool because it's all
interesting.
built in. What I wish
Yeah.
right now is, like, right now I'm working on collaborating with other artists, and I wish there was a way like DistroKid where they can do automatic, revenue share.
Yes, yes.
And I think some companies are working on that, so that way you can have multiple owners on a single NFT, and with share percentages. So if that one NFT gets sold, then whatever that revenue that generates will go split between the two based on the percentages that they set, 50-50 or 60-40, whatever. I wish that's there right now because I am working with another
Yeah.
artist, you know, who reached out to me and, you know, he's got like graphics that he's trying to sell and he wants music to his graphics. So, trying to work on that and yeah.
Dude, I
So
didn't even
right now
think of
it's,
that. That's awesome.
yeah, like I said, it's a whole new world. It's internet 2.0. Be creative.
There's like different places that you can buy NFTs, right? OpenSea is just one of the
OpenSea
places.
is like kind of the big marketplace. Like
Okay.
what I saw is, you know, other stores like Rareable or Super Rare, what a Foundation, all these like they're on stores where you can mint NFTs there, but then they also have like an outlet on OpenSea, right? So which kind of like expands the exposure of the NFTs. So and some of them like are going to be more around a specific type of art or a specific type of NFT. So right now I'm looking around to see if there's anyone that's actually supports more the NFT audio space.
Right.
I
Yeah.
heard about Audius. I'm still looking into that to see how I'm going to be utilizing it too. But it would be cool to have a store that's kind of dedicated to musicians. If anybody out there who can, you know, is a blockchain developer, reach
Yes.
out. Let's do this.
Dude, I'm sure people, there's got to be somebody like looking into it because, there's all these, there's all this talk about how it's going to change the music industry. I guess only time will tell. But
Yeah,
we'll look
yeah,
back like we'll look back at this video and see like, okay, what actually happened.
yeah.
I
What
think
changed since this video? You know.
yeah, totally, totally. Have you actually sold any NFTs yourself?
Yes, I did sell one beat, one NFT beat, and that was kind of like early on when I first jumped on it. I think like a couple of weeks or so after jumping on it, started like putting beats out there, and really it was from through Twitter.
Wow.
The NFT community on Twitter is amazing. Like seriously,
Really?
everybody hypes each other up, and you know everybody's following each other. And something you see so many people like, oh my gosh, I've been on Twitter on my other account for years, and I'm still at 100 followers, and now I'm on here, and I already have like 5,000 followers. And it's just because I feel like it's such a small community on of NFT people, on Twitter, but they're all like hyping each other up and they're kind of slowly, everybody's growing at the same time. And so, yeah, basically I was very engaged at the beginning. I'm still trying to right now, posting stuff on there. As soon as I mint, a beat on OpenSea, then I'll share it. And what I've been trying to do is like, I'll actually post a video or an MP4 on Twitter, just because it kind of like, if you just share the link, they see a still image. And so they don't actually see it on Twitter. But if I actually put the video on Twitter post with the link to it on OpenSea, that way people can kind of see a preview of it on Twitter before they go. And so that kind of helped, people like, okay, checking out the beat before they make it to OpenSea. So at that point, you're like, oh, this is really cool. I'm going to go there, check it out, how much it is, buy it or whatever. So it was really jumping on Twitter, engaging a lot. And, and there's a lot of people that say, hey, I got a few ETH right now that would like to buy an NFT, share your work. And a bunch of people, will share their work. And then somebody
Mm-hmm.
else would do that. And you just you got to be on top of it and like constantly share your stuff on there. And eventually it will get to the right collector who sees value in your NFT and will be willing to buy it.
That's so cool. Okay, so dang, I didn't know there was. I mean, I know you have a Twitter that's like dedicated to NFT, but I didn't
Mhm.
know that the community was like that, like supportive. That's so cool.
Yeah, very, very supportive. And like I said, I started a whole account just because I wanted to grab that NFT Beat handle. So it kind of like, it helps because it's in the name. So people like, oh, NFT Beats, they can tell right away from the handle, like what kind of account it is. And because like beats and audio and music is so still new in the NFT space, people, it kind of triggers their curiosity and they're like, oh, what is this guy about? So click on it and then check out my stuff. I just need to get faster at creating those NFTs and minting them. Unfortunately, on OpenSea, they don't have an option for batch minting. I think there's a different a different marketplace that actually supports batch minting. But I haven't looked into it just because some of these other stores is just like everybody's an artist. Like they don't really have that much support for audio.
Right.
At least on OpenSea, you can upload an audio file, you can upload a video file.
Did you say batch minting?
So the process of creating an NFT is called minting.
Got it.
And batch minting is being able to like upload 10, 50 video files or audio files or whatever, and minting those all together at the same time versus doing one at a time, which is what I have to do right now on OpenSea.
Oh, got it. Is that kind of like a long process or?
It's not a long process. I mean, it takes like a few minutes. It depends also on the size of your file. But I know like on OpenSea, the file size limit is 100 megabytes. And usually when I upload one, it takes about, 30 seconds to get minted. And really like minting is, like I said, creating the NFT is generating that unique token that gets associated with that digital asset.
Oh, gotcha. So then when you create the NFT, does it actually have like a, I don't know, like for lack of a better word, a code or something?
Yeah, it's like a really long code of, alphanumeric. It's kind of like an ID for, anything that you generate, right?
Yeah.
So you don't memorize it or anything like that, but it just gets generated and gets associated with your account. And your account is associated with your crypto wallet. And that's how pretty much all the marketplaces, like even when you sign up, you're signing up through your crypto wallet, which is MetaMask. And that's what I'm using right now.
Where would be like the best place for a musician to collaborate with like somebody that's more on the visual side of NFTs?
I mean, that is going to depend on your connections. Actually, if you just look up NFT art or NFTs on Twitter, you're going to see a lot of artists. You can look up the hashtag NFT artist, and you'll see a lot of those visual artists on there. And a lot of them, or even if you go to Marketplace, and like OpenSea, and let's say you see a really cool NFT visual, right? Like it's a good visual art. And you can click on it. And then if you scroll all the way down, you'll kind of see the history of the ownership. So from there, you can see that first owner or the creator. And you can click on their link, on their username link. And then after that, it'll open up their profile. And then usually most of them, they have either the Twitter or Discord connected to that account on OpenSea. So from there, you can join the Discord, which I'm sure they have a whole community of artists that they all collaborate or work with or just connect. Or you can go to their Twitter. You can reach out to them on Twitter. But it's pretty cool. Like that's, when the NFTs, no matter how many times it gets, bought and sold, you can always scroll down and you can see the history of the ownership.
That's crazy. That's cool.
So and as far as like getting started with NFTs, and the first thing you're gonna need is you need to get a crypto wallet. So go to MetaMask. MetaMask is kind of like the main wallet right now for NFTs. And so when you go to their site, it's going to be like a Chrome extension that gets installed, into Chrome. And when you create your account, it's kind of creating any other crypto wallet where, you put in your information, but then you'll get like a code, which is I think like 24 words that you have to basically write down because you can't get access to that. And if you lose that, then you lost your access to your crypto wallet. So make sure you write that down on a piece of paper and store it somewhere safe that you can access to. So once you get your crypto wallet created, then at that point, everything is going to be easy because regardless of the marketplace you go to, whether it's OpenSea or Nifty Gateway or whatever, whenever you go there, you're trying to sign up, the MetaMask extension it's going to pop up, and then you can say sign up, and then it just kind of uses the your MetaMask account to create that account with that marketplace. And then from there, everything, you just set up your profile like any other website, and have fun.
Nice. So you have to actually have like crypto to buy the NFTs, right?
Yes,
Or
yes. So it's in NFTs right now, the main ones, especially like on OpenSea, are all ETH. So Ethereum, you need an Ethereum wallet. And in order to get to buy Ethereum, you can do it through MetaMask itself, where you go in and buy using your credit card or whatever.
got it.
Um,
Okay.
and it basically will convert whatever amount of US dollars into ETH, Ethereum. And then you
Interesting.
have that into your account as a balance available. And so when you go and bid or buy NFTs, it's just going to be deducting from that balance.
Interesting. So if I wanted to buy an NFT today, is there like a process like converting like the dollars to the Ethereum
Yes.
or okay.
So, which brings me to a new topic, which is the fees, because there's what's called gas fees.
Oh,
Every
okay.
time there's a transaction that happens, and not necessarily just monetary, because like some marketplaces, they'll charge you gas fees even for minting. So you want to put a beat
Oh,
up there and mint it and turn it into an NFT, they'll charge you gas fees. And gas fees are dependent. Basically, the rate changes throughout the day depending on how many transactions are happening at that moment
wow.
on that blockchain. Yeah. So, and a transaction could be anything. It could be
Yeah.
minting. It could be transferring NFT from one person to another. It could be just converting US dollars to ETH or ETH to US dollars. And then, or it could be to wrapped ETH, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around that, no pun intended. But on OpenSea, for example, you can only bid with WETH, which is wrapped ETH. But to buy, you can just use straight up ETH. It's, it can get very technical there, but just think that
Okay.
there's basically fees every time there's a transaction, and
Right.
that fee rate changes throughout the day. I think it's called like gasstation.info or something like that, but
Got
basically
it.
to see the current rate of gas fees.
As far as the creator goes, are there any fees that you as the creator would have to pay to start to like create your own NFT?
So right now, on OpenSea, it's only your first transaction, your first like NFT that you put up, you're gonna have to pay gas fees on that. But then after that, minting your beats or your digital assets or whatever, it's actually free. It doesn't cost you anything.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's just that first initial one, and then
That first initial one, yeah,
every one that you create after that is free.
it's free on OpenSea.
Oh,
Like I
okay.
said, because there's other sites like Nifty Gateway or whatever. Actually, I can't remember if Nifty Gate does that, but there's other ones that actually charges you every time you mint an NFT. But on
Interesting.
OpenSea, it's just that first one, and then after that, you can mint as many as you want, and you don't pay any gas fees on that.
Interesting.
It's a lot of info. I
It's a
mean,
lot.
like even I was kind of on putting videos on YouTube on a consistent, somewhat consistent base.
Right.
But once NFT came up and started diving into that, kind of like put my YouTube channel on hold right now. And I'm trying to gather, I do want to make an NFT video. I'm in the process of scripting it right now. It's just so much info to put in one video.
It is, yeah.
And yeah, and because I don't want it to kind of be boring, I kind of want to do it in a creative way that kind of keeps you, interested in the video.
Yeah, totally. So where can people, well, I think we already know, people can buy your NFTs at an OpenSea?
Yeah, if they go to OpenSea, actually just look up my name, Adil Constantine. I'm the only one there.
Okay,
I'm the only
nice.
Adil Constantine there. And on Twitter, NFT Beats. Actually, yeah, if you search that, you'll find me. You'll see me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey man, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to talk to me about this stuff. Like really, like this is something I'm just really curious about. And I don't know, talking to you just kind of made me I'm not gonna lie, it's got me a little excited. It's got me
Yeah.
pretty excited about the NFT space, even as a smaller creator. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
doesn't matter how big or small you are. Anybody can really jump on it right now. And like we've talked about some of the downsides and the upsides of it, and it's new, and so it's going to go through growing pains and all that. But that it kind of has to go through that in order for it to evolve and get better. And just like if you just landed on Earth and you're the first one there and you're trying to build a community, you're going to
Mm.
start out at first as it's a free for all type of thing. Like there's no rules, nothing there. But eventually, as you evolve, as you progress, and you start running into certain situations, rules are going to start, get created and put out there, and it's kind of going to get more structure as we go. As of right now, a lot of people are saying, it's a big bubble that's about to burst, and I see that. My mentality is take advantage of the bubble, jump on it, and when it bursts, it bursts. At least you were one of the first ones, and then from there, you're just gonna like adapt. Whatever new rules are gonna come out of that is just gonna, help you still be one of the pioneers, one of the first ones that you got there. And as a musician, my main piece of advice for you is don't worry about the rights. Don't worry about people stealing your stuff. Yes, it's gonna happen, but it could happen also in our normal world, not the non-NFT world. People can always still go hack your account, get your beats, sell it under their name. That stuff can happen anywhere. I would say don't worry about that. If anything, as far as rights, it's really whatever you set. If you put a beat on there as an NFT, you can put in the details like all rights reserved. That way you have proof that, first of all, you are the creator of that NFT, of that beat, and you put in the details. If push comes to shove, you have proof of all that stuff. So don't worry about that. Just get started, jump into it, and good luck.
Okay, awesome. Well, with that said, once again, thank you so much, Adil,
My
for
pleasure.
talking with me today. And yeah, man, I guess we'll see. We'll see 5 years from now what happens.
Yeah, you gotta let me know when you create your first NFT.
Yeah, man, I'm thinking about it now. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right, man. Thanks a lot. I will see you uh, on the internet.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much for having me. Great chat as always. I mean, we're always talked on, Instagram and whatnot, but it's kind of cool to do this. And anybody have any questions, feel to reach out. Instagram at Adil Constantine. Basically, that tag of my full name is everywhere. You'll find me. Thank you.
Yay! Go follow him, guys.
Thank you so much.